Hey everyone, it's Steve Harris with MuseThemes.com. We take widget requests very seriously, and occasionally when a user either posts on our forum or through our support portal and requests a widget, we really do our best to investigate whether that's a viable widget for Muse, and then if it is, we'll go ahead and build it. So this new widget here called the Resizable text widget was a user request, and we're happy to release it. I think it's a nice little widget, and it's very simple to use. So as you can see, you have these increase and decrease buttons, and of course these buttons are completely customizable, but if you click either of them, you can see that the text in that frame above actually increases in size. So this is just a simple way for the user visitor on your site to make it a little bit easier to read the text. So if we go back into Muse, I'll show you how we made these. Let me just create a new site. Okay, and on a blank page here, I'll go to our widget library and scroll down to number 37, Resizable Text Tool, and drag it out on the page. So this widget you see on the canvas here, there's a couple different components to it. We have the main widget controller here, which just has the thumbnail, and in there is a flyout panel. Below that, we've included some sample buttons. So this is obviously the increase and decrease buttons that you saw on the sample. And then there's a frame here, a text frame. You don't need to use our text frame. You can create one yourself, but let me show you how this all works. So if we investigate the flyout panel, and you can see here that we have a text frame target class. Basically what this means is any text frame in Muse that you apply this class name, or sorry, this style name to, is going to link up the widget and allow you to increase or decrease the text size. So if I go ahead and draw a text box like this and just say sample text box within it, and then I'll go over to the paragraph styles panel, and I'm going to create a new style for that, and I'll just call that style test, just like that. So now we have a text box with a style applied to it. If I go into the widget controller here and I change the target class to test, just like that, and then I'll preview the widget in the browser, you can see that now if I hit the increase and decrease buttons, it's actually changing the text in this box. So that's how you can link up any box within Muse to this widget. So you can use multiple boxes. If I change this one here to be also the text class or the test class and preview that, then you can see now the buttons will impact both of the boxes. So that's how you link it up to any box. And like I said, you don't need to use our sample one here, but when the widget kind of comes in the toolbox package, it has a style name in there, and this box actually has the same style applied. It's resized text, so it'll work right out of the box. The next thing that you can do is you can create custom buttons. So here's how this works. We have these button classes here, same thing as above, and we also have the option to auto-generate buttons. So if we didn't want to use our own, we couldn't click auto-generate. And once I do that, you can see the widget spins a little bit. And if we preview that again, now there's this plus and minus button up here. And these are the auto-generated buttons. So if you don't want to create a custom one, we've included the ability for the widget to generate some itself. And then all of these controls down here are all for styling those buttons. So changing the color and the hover color and that sort of thing. If you want to use your own, just uncheck this. And the way to do that would be to use state buttons. So I'm going to delete those out for now. And let's go to our widget library, and under the buttons panel, these are the default Muse buttons. Let's just drag a state button out onto the page. I did another video on how to use state buttons because we're using them a lot in our widgets right now. So let me delete that out, and I'm just going to put in this area a plus symbol, and I'll just make that a little bit bigger. Okay. I'll scale that down. I'm just going to make the button really small here, and there you go. Let's say that's our plus button. Now I'm going to duplicate that, and we'll put a minus in there like that. Okay, so now we have these two state buttons, and of course you could go ahead and style the rollover states and that sort of thing for them, but I'll just leave them default for now. So what we need to do is if you select the plus button and we go up to the graphic styles panel, we need to create a new graphic style for that button. So let's click new. And right now it just comes in with the name style. Let's call this one increase. And let's do the same thing for the minus sign here. And let's call that one decrease. Okay. So once you've done that, you need to go into the widget controller here and where it says enlarge button class and shrink button class, enter those names. So we want increase and decrease. And what that's doing is telling the widget that these are the two buttons that are going to be controlling the text. So now that we've done that, let's go ahead and preview it in the browser. And now you can see we have these two buttons here, and they obviously work for changing the size of the text. So it's really simple to set up, and the customization controls in it are pretty extensive because you basically build right in Muse, link up the widget, and you can use anything you want. So the text will increase by 10% each time. We decided that was kind of a better way to go than inputting some sort of sizing controls within the widget itself. So you'll just get a flat 10%, and I think it works really well for what this widget needs to do. If you have any questions or concerns with the widget, please don't hesitate to give us a shout, and best of luck. Thanks.